It is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's NFL Week 15, and it has been interesting. There have been upsets galore, and, we got Old Man Rivers. It's all sorts of stuff happening. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I mean, are you serious? Yeah, I mean, Old Man Rivers coming back. Oh, my goodness. I mean, a lot of people have been upset about this, and they're fearful for Old Man Rivers. But anyway, we will talk about that, I guess. I don't know if we're going to be talking about it, but we can talk about it now.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to miss him. But, that's what we shall see. Okay, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from Heidi Tann, where she finds her shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button. First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies known as the University of Michigan are flapping their wings in bewilderment as Sherron Moore, their now fire head coach, undeniably proof of an inappropriate relationship with a staff member, reports of threatening suicide, claims made of stalking a woman and then insulting her. Sherron Moore was a protege of Jim Harbaugh. Does he stain the coach's legacy? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying?
First Lady, but before you say, we have an honored guest. That's right, we have an honored guest. We have the original sports talk show from back in the day. We got Kevin Kev. But he didn't bring the Bucky sports fans with him. Oh, hey, man, glad that you can join us. And we let we didn't let everybody know, but I let First Lady know that at the moment we teasing you about being Hopalong Cassidy. And,
that's fair.
And we hope you get better.
Good morning.
Good morning. I hope to be Hopalong Cassidy.
All right, hey, we'll get you back in. Yeah, you get back in. You'll be going down the court for that massive dunk over the grandkids. All right, let's see here. First Lady was about to go into Sherron Moore and that situation, and she'll come right back to you, Kevin Kev.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right. Welcome. The big news out of Michigan, University of Michigan, Sherron Moore was fired for cause. The athletic director, Ward Manuel, indicated that he was fired because of an inappropriate relationship with a university employee. And it seems like another employee of the university was the one who snitched. So obviously people were talking, and this happened actually like 2-3 weeks prior to it being announced and his firing, and the HR department did not find any wrongdoing. But then this person presented some irrefutable documentation about the conduct of Sherron Moore. So that's why the president had to go ahead and fire him. Now, the other thing, he's also been detained and subsequently was arrested It happened on Wednesday around 7:30 p.m., the 911 call, and then actually TMZ has the 911 call out there. I tell you that TMZ Sports, they always get these calls. I don't know what TMZ, who they know in the police department. They know a lot of people because they're always ending up with the call. And supposedly the person that he had this alleged affair with accused him of assaulting her and said that he had been stalking her for a while. So it's kind of crazy, though. I mean, I thought they were involved in a relationship. So what happened? Something went south on this situation, I mean, all of a sudden now he's stalking her. So anyway, he's being, detained. I'm not sure if he's already out and posted bail, but, unfortunately for the University of Michigan, they have been marred with a lot of scandal. If you remember, before Jim Harbaugh left, there was the scandal of them stealing signs, recruiting violations. I mean, that was one of the reasons why after Jim Harbaugh won the championship, he hightailed out of there to the Chargers, the LA Chargers, because he knew that he was going to be under the service suspension, which he did serve a suspension and for the issues that he had in Michigan before he left. Sharon Moore actually was suspended also. So it's just this university and the football program has really been under a lot of controversy. So sometimes you really also got to look at the top person in charge, the athletic director, Ward Manuel. I mean, this is all under his watch. So, you wonder if you're going to do a clean break, you need to just get rid of everybody, and that includes the athletic director. He needs to be gone, too. Now, does this whole situation stain Jim Harbaugh's legacy? Well, his legacy was already staying at the University of Michigan, even though he did win a championship there. Like I said, he left under a lot of problems when he departed them. So a lot of issues, lacking institutional control, and moral integrity. So his reputation was already stained. But, there was rumors out there that it was part of Jim Harbaugh's contract that if he left, that Sharon Moore was to get that job. That was not true. Those rumors did come out. It wasn't true. But what Harbaugh did do, he heavily endorsed Moore as the only person for that job, and it was supposed to be like a seamless transition for a winning culture, but it didn't, obviously it did not manifest into that. It became a disaster. So, yeah, I'm going to add that to Jim Harbaugh's legacy at the University of Michigan. It's been, like I said, yeah, it does stain his, continue to stain his legacy there. This is a situation as being the first African-American coach at the University of Michigan. Moore has really probably made it tough for other black coaches to even go to the University of Michigan. When you think he's the first and all this has happened, that's not saying much, that makes it very difficult for them to hire another black man to run their program. I hate to say that, but that's a possibility. So, I just think it's a bad situation for Sharon Moore's family, bad situation for the players because they still got to do a bowl game. They have a bowl game that they still have to participate in. So, it's really a bad situation. All right, Chevy, I apologize. Our guest, can you speak on this?
Oh, it's definitely a bad situation for Michigan. It's interesting the timing that all these things happened after he had lost to Ohio State. I wonder if he had pulled off the upset over Ohio State. Will we be hearing any of this stuff? Just, people talk,
Right.
Well,
all right.
I think the other thing too, as it relates to Sharon, I mean, it's
always nice when you promote up within. In all seriousness, it's always great when you can promote up within the respective program. And Harbaugh did leave the program in a mess. I mean, they were under a lot of scrutiny and a lot of investigation. So this might be a backdoor way for the AD to be cleaning house, as you say. It may be coming that way. But let's face it, the Buckeyes were the best team in the Big Ten this year, and it wasn't close. So that also rankles the people in Michigan for sure.
All right. Okay. All right. Face, what are you saying about this situation?
People, men and women who have positions learn that being seamless doesn't mean unravel you at the seams and do stupid stuff. Now, you are supposed to be someone who is cultivating a culture of adulthood and men and all that good stuff. And what are you doing? I think the man should take a drug test and then take an alcohol test and then see if he's been on LSD. What are you doing? You are the head coach at the University of Michigan, I would say not a bad position that many would like to be, but would love to have that job. You got it. You got that job. And what are you doing? You run around here chasing cats. Now, why are you doing that? You run around, come on, personally, I don't believe that this will damage the opportunities for black coaches to become head coach at University of Michigan. Because stupid do is stupid do. And they realize that. And as Kevin Kev said earlier, the program was kind of in a shambles, with Harbaugh. And there is no staining to his reputation, because the only reputation that matter at the University of Michigan is, did you beat Ohio State? And did you win a national championship? Stain all you want to stain. And but there's a some would say an oh dear in the air, and that oh dear is getting rather funky. That oh dear is schematic. It's a bad oh dear. And it's the kind of oh dear where the president of the university needs to step in and say, but we need some fresh air. So we getting rid of everybody, including the AD. And it's time to bring in somebody who, yes, because the recruiting has went off the rails. And now, Michigan fan, I ain't hating on y'all, but, being over there, with the fighting the line now, we ain't feeling too sorry, right? Not really. First lady, that's all I'm saying.
All right. Okay. I wonder what Tom Brady got to say about it. Isn't that his alma mater? I believe so. University of Michigan. We'll see if he has anything to say. Maybe they can bring Tom Brady into there. No, but I forgot he's with the Raiders right now. He's with a sorry team, the Raiders. But anyway, all right. Faith, over to you.
Tom Brady say, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault.
He already got his own scandal. He already got his own scandal. He's scouting teams where he's supposed to be in the reporter. They don't need any more scandals.
No.
All right, Faith, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my tears and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go, boom, explosion, overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest of the August slice and dice competition, paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to the Baltimore Ravens after losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. With this loss, this is all over but the shouting for the Ravens. John Harbaugh has had an MVP at quarterback for several seasons and a rushing machine as his sidekick. Should the Ravens be considering making a move at head coach? Is this version of Aaron Rodgers that beat the Ravens all the Steelers need to be formidable during the playoffs? Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and my man, James School Papa Bear. I ask it, what you saying? Kevin First Lady, I don't know, the Ravens, I mean, when they talk about the wheels coming off the wagons, the wheels that come off the wagon, they had the wagon over there in the ditch somewhere, and they just wandering around, and it's like, what happened, And, the beginning of the season was kind of rough for them, but the predictions, the money betting folks and everything was still saying they'll win the division. And, they might still win. I think they still got a shot at winning the division, especially, given the state of the Steelers. I mean, nobody running out to proclaim them as the next Super Bowl winners or anything, but it does look like it's all over, but the shout for the Ravens, that, they'll go out spirited. But you have to wonder, Harbaugh, you done had Lamar as your quarterback. Who has Pittsburgh had as their quarterback during that time? It's like you can barely remember their names, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, damn. Somebody they had. Hey, we Bear fans know how it feels. But we going, hey, here you are. You got it. It's like you could understand Pittsburgh's dilemma. They can't get a quarterback, but they, but they get to play. They the team, the organization, they gonna win games. But they ain't had no quarterback. You done had a quarterback. Down how about you done had a quarterback. And
now, Baltimore definitely had a quarterback. The problem with Baltimore, though, is they got no defense. I mean, every time I watch the Ravens, they're getting 30 points run up on them, right? It's just hot, right? This is the people who brought you Ray Lewis, right? Ray would take you, not only beat you on the football field, but he might take you in the back alley and beat you up too, right? I mean, that was the defense. Now they got no defense, man. Well, I don't know what to make of them. And they're going to run both those coaches out of town, Tomlin and Harbaugh. You watch. Both of them are going to be gone. They ain't putting up with no 8 and 9 season, 9 and 8 season. That's ridiculous. I mean, they were chanting Tomlin, needs to go. Oh, this is gonna be it. They're gonna turn over some stuff in the north.
Oh, so you said in the AFC North it's gonna be some shakeups.
Well, let's put it this way: is this the worst coached division in all of football? Case in point, you got Shedeur Sanders with Cleveland, right? You get a touchdown and you're a 2-point conversion away. And the boy that passed 3 times for a touchdown and ran a touchdown in. So what do you know is going to happen as a fan, right? You know he's going to be on the field. Oh, wait a minute. Coach Stefanski takes out his best player, right? And then he runs some weird option thing, right? where the guys don't even know how to hand off the ball. I mean, I'm not saying he was trying to throw the game. I'm not saying that. I want to be really clear. But it did look like he was trying to throw the game. I will say that, though, right?
You say that the appearances would get his butt in trouble.
And then you got Cincinnati, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, I mean, they can't keep anybody healthy. And they got no defense either, right? If Joe Burrow don't throw for 500 yards, they ain't going to win the game. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be the worst coach. That's got to be the worst coach division right now in football. It's hard to say that because, you know, you got two guys that got Super Bowl rings, but both of them, everybody is just coaching terribly in that division this year.
All right. Okay. Kevin Care says that it's the curse of the AFC North. You know, all the good coaches, not all the good coaches, but the NFC North actually has a bunch of good coaches.
No, you're right with that.
They ain't doing too bad in the NFC North. And, of course, they got teams that are actually winning, you know. So even the hurt team is winning. You know, that's rough, you know. We over here hurt. Everybody got injuries going. We still beating your butt. So, you know, that division got the coaches. First lady, what you saying?
Well, I mean, let's not take say that John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin are not good coaches. They've been good coaches for a long time. The problem is they've been with that team too long. That's the problem. So their voice gets kind of stale after a while, and that to me is some of the issues why John Harbaugh needs to be his last year coaching this team. And they're not going to fire him, just like the Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to fire Mike Tomlin. These coaches are going to have to want to leave on their own, or it's going to have to be a mutual agreement. And that's what's going to happen. Because now both of them have gotten championships under their belts, even though it's been a long time. You know, with Harbaugh, like you said, Kevin, their defense, I mean, the Ravens were built on their defense for years, and that's what's been struggling for them. I mean, their defense has been horrible. The Ravens, and when it came to Lamar, he's always been a good quarterback. He's obviously been in the MVP race for several years, but sometimes when it comes to those big games, Lamar doesn't show up, and I think that's some of the issue. But he's been injured most of the year, so they got off to a bad start because of the fact that he was injured. So I think it's time for Harbaugh to go. Yeah, I think they need a new voice. They need to move into a new direction. He has wasted talent you're talking about with Lamar, and then you also have oh my gosh, I forgot the running back's name. Derrick Henry. Yeah, Derrick Henry. And so they've had a lot of struggles in the playoffs, and they've had some bad results. So it's time for them to move on from John Harbaugh. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But Tomlin's another situation. Like I said, he will not be fired. The Pittsburgh Steelers rarely fire their head coaches. They let their head coaches leave on their own. And so, we'll see. But, also we didn't talk about Aaron Rodgers because, that Aaron Rodgers that showed up against the Ravens is the Aaron Rodgers that the Steelers need to have. The Steelers need to have that Aaron Rodgers because, he has a good arm and he can still play. And Mike Tomlin's coaching is still, it's good. And even the Steelers defense at the beginning of the season wasn't that great. I think it's come along a little bit better since the early part of the season. Now J.J. Watts, I believe, is in the hospital with a lung injury or something like that. They're saying they're going against the Dolphins on Monday night. So this is, if the Steelers win that game against the Dolphins on Monday night, you can rest assured that they will win that division. Right now, I'm going to bet on the Steelers winning the division, and whoever wins that division will be able to get into the playoff because they're not going to be able to make it without winning that division, because right now they're on the outside looking in as far as, they're on the bubble right now. So there's too many good teams ahead of them. So that's all I'm saying.
No, you're right, First Lady. There's no way that they make it in the playoffs as a wild card. The only chance they got. But I got to ask you something. Are you really saying that Aaron Rodgers being a sub-500 Dolphins team gives you confidence that the Steelers going into the playoffs can actually make a run? I mean, they are.
No, I'm not saying they could make a run. I said they could make it to the playoffs. That's all I said. They could make it to the playoffs. They can make it to the playoffs. They can win that division. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So you know Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game, right? It's been a long time.
Oh, we know that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. He hasn't won a playoff game. Say again?
Is it going to be time for him to go?
I think it's time for him to go. He should want to go. I think it is time for. I think Tomlin needs to move on. I really do. But, we had that conversation last time. You said, should they trade Tomlin versus just letting him go? So we will see. I mean, that's the situation. First of all, we have to see how this season ends. I mean, if they make it to the playoff and they win a playoff game, does that change everything? I don't know. But I don't have the confidence that they're going to win a playoff game, because the AFC, you got some strong teams now. So you will see.
I don't see the Steelers coming within 10 points to anybody in the playoffs. I got to ask you something, though. You had talked about my man Lamar. I mean, Lamar's at least going up against Patrick Mahomes. So when he has a bad December or January, I get it. He's facing the very best of the best. Now, a guy that's playing pretty well, but's never really, to me, shown out in the playoffs is your buddy Dak Prescott. What do you think of Dak in Dallas?
Well, Dak's been balling. I mean, Dak actually, to me, has been balling. But you're right. He hasn't showed up in the big games, and that's in the playoffs. And when he has to play a team, the Cowboys beat up on a lot of teams that are not with bad records. So, yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Dak does have a tendency not to show up in the big games. But he's been balling. He's been showing up in some big games this year. But that last game, that was against they played the Packers, right? That was a tough game. They were in it to the end. But, I think Dak has played well this year.
But with that, we do have to move along. First Lady, you had the last word. Please take us to break.
Okay. Lost my script. I apologize. On the other side, you take us a break because I kind of lost my where. Okay, Don, sorry. Stay tuned up next. We have a performance from Heidi Tann on Shout Out Part 1.
Go down. Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the First Lady. I can't wait to hear the music from Heidi Tann.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If you like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. And we are featuring music from Heidi Tann and her hit album, Here Is Where We Meet. They say Heidi Tann is a Filipina-American singer-songwriter who sings with ease. Her repertoire is vast, befitting a singer with her versatility and unique style of performance. All right, DJ, let's hear Where Love Is on the Line.
But you let
Okay, that's Heidi Tann. I mean, we've had Heidi on the show before with her music, and she doesn't disappoint. I'm definitely going to shout it out. Kevin Ches, are you shouting it out, or are you going to hit the mute button?
Oh, no, I'm going to shout that out. That was nice. I like that.
Yeah, she brings it. All right, Spitface, are you hitting the mute button, or are you shouting Heidi Tann out?
Well, I'm not quite ready to give a Grammy, but I am ready to give her a shining star. I'm here. I'm shouting it out.
All right. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll be featuring another performance from Heidi Tann. Is that the sound of our favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
It's smarter than you, and we are missing a world of wonder. Lying there all day, I never think.
All right. It's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend the view and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Raiders season has been, I said we weren't going to pick on the Raiders. The Raiders season has been filled with dismal results. Is it time to admit hiring Pete Carroll was a mistake? We wonder. So we're going to defend. Hiring Pete Carroll was not a mistake. Now, thinking he could do a 1-year turnaround was. Now, Pete is a little long on the tooth, but his football smarts are still there. The only problem Pete Carroll had coming to the Raiders was that the Raiders were a little more messed up than he knew. See, Petey Boy got up there and the Raiders and looked around him and said, oh, hell, what have I got myself into? This team is terrible, But, Pete is the kind of guy that if I'm trying to get something done, I would like him as a coach because he's going to be Bronny. He's going to be Dizzy. He's going to be Spitface. He's going to be First Lady. He's going to be Cheryl. Y'all can do it. Y'all can. Come on. Y'all are the best at this. He going to keep you going. But when when you lacking, and I mean lacking of talent, you might need someone who can say, look, let's just give you the consolation prize and just hang on to the end of the season because we're going to get rid of your butt and get somebody in here who can play. So, I think it was not a mistake bringing him in. He's doing work where they get players in, they will do well. But like I said, the mistake was Pete Carroll thinking that he could turn them around when that just wasn't going to happen. Kevin Carroll defend hiring Pete Carroll was not a mistake.
Man, you asking me to do some work this morning, aren't you? I'm supposed to defend Pete Carroll not being a mistake? Man, you trying to break my back. All right. Defend Pete Carroll coming in. All right. I think if you're looking at the Raiders are Gentry as the running back. He has improved over the course of the season. So he's figured out maybe to do some things with his offensive line and get him enough touches to get going. I'm still not completely sold on Gentry, but I'm sure having old Pete coaching him up has probably helped him out and has given him a shot kind of within his career. He's chewing a lot of gum on the sidelines. He's probably doing well there. He's got some endorsement deals. He breaks an NFL record every time he wins a game. Unfortunately, he's only won twice, but he's breaking an NFL record every time he wins. He's the oldest coach to ever win an NFL game. That's something to be said. Not everybody can say that. What else? What else is Pete doing? I think Pete brings a calm, in all seriousness. I do think he brings a calm to the Raiders. We knew that when they got rid of Devontae, when they decided to go with Geno, that it was going to be a rebuild year. So he has probably provided a little calm within the storm, being a rebuild year. But it's tough. I mean, it's tough to really find much to like silver lining in the silver and black cloud that is the Raiders right now. First Lady, what do you think?
First Lady, you didn't get lost in the silver and
okay. Basically, Pete Carroll, like you said, Spitface, you alluded to, he brings that rah-rah, that college atmosphere. He has that. He like you said, he can talk players up. He's very inspirational. He's like a cheerleader over there. That's what he brings. He tries to bring that winning culture to the Raiders organization that has been losing so much lately. And, they decided to go with experience. They had an inexperienced coach in Antonio Pierce. So they needed somebody who had experience, and he has experience. Obviously, he is older, long in the tooth. But, I think he was more of basically going to transition, like a bridge coach for the Raiders. They just needed somebody to come in and get them started to be positively in the right direction. And that's what was supposed to happen, and that's what Pete Carroll was supposed to bring. And, he really didn't have control over, from my understanding, the rosters, supposedly. Usually he does have full control over that. I'm quite sure he had some control over the roster. But, he brings that winning culture to a team that hasn't won in such a long, long time. And, Raider Nation has just been abysmal, to be honest with you. So that's what Pete Carroll was supposed to bring. He had a proven track record. That was the reason for hiring him. I think it was a good hire on paper at the time. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say.
All right. Okay. Well, this is Flip It, where we flip the script and defend the opposing view. So let's flip it. Unfortunately, hiring Pete Carroll was not the only mistake. Now, there are some pluses to Pete Carroll as a coach, and I actually think that he could be a great head coach for a few different teams in the league, but not for the Raiders. Not for the Raiders. And the Raiders needed a head coach who could get in there and as they, I'm not going to be politically correct with this statement. They needed somebody to come in there and kick some butt and shake some things up. And not just with the players, with the organization as a whole. And they needed a coach who could come in there and look the ownership in the eye and go, for 40 years, y'all been messing up. 40 years. I didn't say 20, I said 40. And if y'all want to be a winning team in the NFL in the year 2026 and beyond, it's time to get the program right. See, the Raiders should have been fighting to get Ben Johnson, or fighting, to get some of these other top guys available. Pete Carroll brings a certain level of stability, but you know what? Your fan base they tired of stability. They've been stable at losing. Losing is stable. It may not be the kind of stable you want, but it's well, we're gonna lose. Okay, yeah, all right, we can bet our money on that one. Come on. So it was a bad decision on paper. It just continues the cycle of I used to could at least put them in the category of the Cowboys. Overhyped, win enough games to titillate their fan base, and end up being a mediocre team at the end of the day. With quarterbacks who keep breaking records because they beat up on teams that are terrible, and they're always losing at the end, so they got to throw for 1 million yards. Yeah. But that's the deal. We're not talking about the Cowboys today, and we're just not talking about it. Let me stop with that. So.
No, you're exactly
Kevin Cam, Kevin Cam, the Fed. Pete Carroll wasn't the only mistake.
He wasn't the only mistake, but they had no business hiring him. I mean, they're paying him $15 million a year, so it's not like they got a deal by signing him at all. And just for you math wizards out there, that's $7.5 million a win as a coach. And to the extent, it's not saying that at 74 you can't do that job, but no one has really done it successfully in their 70s. Let's take a photo of Bill Belichick, obviously first ballot Hall of Fame coach. But at certain points in time, the game just passes you by. And I think the reality is, and I'm sad for Pete because I think he also is a Hall of Fame coach. I just think the game has passed him by. That team just does not look really equipped to be able to play. They seem overmatched when they're playing other NFL teams. And he just wasn't the right person for them. They needed somebody, as you said, somebody who has some high energy. You think of coaches like Campbell from the Lions, right? He epitomizes strength, and there's a swagger about that respective team. Heck, even Ben Johnson has taken off his shirt in the Chicago Bears locker room and flexing, right? There's no swagger with Pete at this stage in the game. It's just passed them by. And I'm afraid after the end of the season, the Raiders are going to make that decision to part ways with them. What do you think, First Lady?
Well, before we move, before we move on, before we get First Lady's defense, Kevin Cam, he took off his shirt.
Ben Johnson, you didn't see that in the locker room for the Chicago Bears?
Thank you.
Ben Johnson, after the Eagles, beating the Eagles, he took off his shirt and flexed, right?
A Bears coach flex.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Don Springs Eternal. First lady, please defend. Pete Carroll wasn't the only mistake.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin has said it.
I didn't mean to make you blush.
Yeah, the game has passed him by. His style of being that cheerleader probably doesn't work in today's modern NFL. You got to get after these players. There's a lot of young players, and he's done a very poor job of the roster building, personnel development. You can say whether or not he had something to do with it or not. I believe he did. I mean, it was quite obvious that he brought Geno Smith over there. I mean, that was obvious. And unfortunately, that's the Geno Smith that we knew most of his career. Most of Geno Smith's careers from the Jets to wherever he went before, he was good with the Seattle. He was good with Seattle, but, this is the Geno Smith that he's been mediocre most of his career. And unfortunately, he's had a bad season So, it's just been really unfortunate for Pete Carroll, because he definitely probably will be let go at the end of the season. And again, you're talking about the Raiders and what they got to do to get the right coach in there. I really didn't think Antonio Pierce was that bad. He was the type of coach that got into your face, but unfortunately, maybe with him, he just did it too much in the media that became a problem. Pete Carroll's way of thinking is an outdated philosophy. He's long in the tooth. He's 74 years old. I think it's going to make it very hard for him to build in the future on this team. And I just thought he was just brought in there to stabilize the franchise. Unfortunately, they took 2 steps back with Pete Carroll. I hate to say it. He took 2 steps back. He fired Kelly. Their offense wasn't rolling, but, it was because of Geno Smith. Geno Smith was a turnover machine. So it's just, you want to place all the blame on Geno Smith, but everything starts and begins with the quarterback. And unfortunately, he was not the right quarterback for this franchise. So, it's time it was a bad hire, very, very bad hire. So we got to see what Tom Brady and the rest of the ownership group is going to do regarding who they're going to bring in as the coach. There's going to be several positions available. There are already some coaches out there that can come and take this job. But, Pete Carroll is definitely not it.
First Lady, and Kevin, I'm just going to throw in what I think it was the biggest mistake. The biggest mistake, not drafting Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, there's something to be said
when
for
you
that.
Could have got him when you could have got him on the cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the biggest mistake. First Lady, over to you for more Flip It.
The Bills beat the Bengals 39-34 and are close to securing a playoff spot. But we wonder, are they contenders or pretenders? All right, Spitface defend. The Bills are pretenders.
I would have never thought I would have to say this. They are pretenders. I do not know what happened to the big boys of the AFC. Because this year, the big boys of the AFC, they've been getting swatted around, so you want an MVP last, wop, we'll just beat you. I looked up here and, it was just like the Dolphins beat the Bills. I'm looking at teams that, Bills will be losing to these teams, getting beat. And looking bad, looking bad when they get beat. They don't, it's not like, that they get beat, they look pretty damn bad. It's like the other team, that other team, the reigning Super Bowl champs. I don't know if someone came locker room and, put a bad, herb on them or something. Now, the offense ain't the same. I know they had a retirement or two here and there, but damn, So, but the Bills, at the beginning of the season, I stated this was going to be a wild NFL year. That teams that were on the bottom were going to be at the top, and top teams were going to be in the middle, all over the place. But I didn't think it would end up the way it's ended up. Where the Bills have to battle to get a wild card spot because the Patriots came from the bottom and started whooping butt. So right now, the Bills just ain't right. And Josh has had his, he'll do his Josh thing and then kind of seem something ain't right the next game. So right now, First Lady, they pretenders.
All right, they pretend. All right, Kevy Kez, the Bills are pretenders. Explain.
All right, they are pretenders, and the reason why they're pretenders is because they can't stop anybody running the ball down their throat. I mean, let's be honest. When they lost the first game of the season to the Falcons with Bijan Robinson, he just ran it down their throat. They just couldn't stop the run. You can't really be a champion. You can't call yourself a championship caliber team if you can't stop people running the ball on you. And right now they're averaging more than 5 yards a carry. I mean, 5 yards a carry. Why does anybody even throw the ball against the Bills? You have to ask yourself. It's amazing. They have gotten this far. They've won this many games because their defense is just not up to what it needs to be for them to be winning championships. So they're pretenders to me.
All right. You hit the nail on the head with that defense. You're right. That rush defense has been putrid this year for the Bills. I mean, Devon Achane ran all over them when he was for the Dolphins. The Dolphins ran, like you said, Kevin J. They ran all over the Bills. And the Bills, unfortunately, are relying too much on the superpowers of Josh Allen. They have very limited playmakers. Stephon Diggs left, and they don't have that great receiver. They need to really get next year in the draft. They really need to look for a wide receiver, somebody that Josh Allen can get the ball to. So they just rely too much on him. But the defense, like you said, across the board, I mean, they're like ranked in the middle of the league, but when it comes to specifics, like you indicated, the run defense is horrible. The reliance of Allen has just been, too much. He has to be Superman all the time. And, fortunately for them, he has been Superman. He has carried them several times. The last game they won, he carried them over the hump. And they've just been inconsistent, they've been up and down. Like you said, losing to the Dolphins was a major issue. And I have a feeling they just can't beat the Patriots. I don't think they're going to win their division. So it's going to be very on the edge to see if they can make it into the playoffs. I mean, I believe they will. They'll get by. But they got to win out. But I just don't see them winning this week against the Patriots. But the Bills, they have been just blase, like some of the other big teams. I mean, who would have thought the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, those were the three elite teams of the AFC conference, and now they're barely struggling to get into the playoffs because the Bills is the only one who has a chance, because I just don't see the Chiefs and the Ravens making it, to be honest with you, at this point in time. So it's just, why things have flipped. You got the Broncos, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, you got other teams that are just taking over this conference. And unfortunately, not the Bills. Mafia Nation, I mean, they're going to be very disappointed, with the current team, and they are definitely pretenders. All right, but we're going to flip this script. Let's flip it. The Bills stumbled at the beginning. Their mojo is back. They are contenders. All right, Kevin Kez, what are you saying? They're contenders.
All right, here's the case, First Lady, for why the Bills can actually win it all. And you're hit it right on the nail right on the head when you said they got to rely on their superstar quarterback, Josh Allen, to put on the cape and win for them. So I look at the last game they won and the very first game of the season that they won, right? We know their defense is not going to show up, but they do have an offense. And the first game of the season, they put up 41 points. 41 points and won the game. Last week, they scored 39 points and won the game, right? Now, if they can have Josh Allen play at superstar level and get one critical turnover, right, they can win. So last week, Christian Benford made that pick off of Joe Burrow. That was the one critical turnover. And you remember, we were talking about it earlier with the Ravens. I mean, the King, he's never fumbled as many times as he has this year. But King Henry put it on the turf. And that's why the Bills won the first game of the season, because they were down 14 until they got that turnover. Harbaugh started making some coaching mistakes, and Josh Allen put on the cape, and they won. So that's the recipe, I think, for the Bills. And when you look around the league and you look to see what is out there, Bo Nix hasn't proven it to me yet. I think when the going gets tough, he just might turn the ball over. I don't put it past him that he wouldn't turn it over. The Steelers, The Steelers win the division. The Bills are going to run all over them. They can't stop them. And now, I guess, it's really just the Patriots to me. Can they get one turnover off of May? Can they get one punt return fumble? Can they get something, right, to just tilt it just enough for Superman to save the day? That's how the Bills will win.
All right. Superman's in the building. All right, Spitface. The Bills are contenders. Defend.
First Lady, they are more contenders this year than any of the previous seasons. And part of the reason is that they're not being anointed as the next ones up. See, the past few seasons, it's been this thing at the beginning of the season, but they're going to be the team. All they need to do is beat the Chiefs. That's all they need. Well, they can beat the Chiefs during the race, but they can't beat them in the playoffs. So it's all about, y'all just going to automatically make it. Well, this year, they got a bloody nose. That's right. That no, bam. No, this ain't these past years. You can't rely on last year. But something about the Bills that has been totally consistent. You might say stabilized. Every year they have defensive woes. Every year the rushing that they can't stop the rush. Every year they have rushing woes. Every year they have receiver issues. And every year Josh has to become Superman. So ain't nothing much changed. But they are contenders more so this season because they've had to come up with ways to win, and the bottom line is winning. So we can look at your defects and speculate on your future success. But the bottom line is, like the big tuna always said, your record says who you are. And right now, they are a winning, competitive team with a superstar quarterback. And like the Bengals, that can be just enough to get you in the Super Bowl. And once you're there, it's all over. It's game on. So, just something, because we didn't want to miss it. If they don't happen to do too well in the playoffs, it might be time for the Bills to look at getting a new coach. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Yeah, well, he's been on the hot seat for a while, so that's definitely Sean McDermott's been on the hot seat for a long time. But, it's interesting when we talk about the Bills this year, how we talk about the one thing that I never thought we would be talking about is how great their offense is. Because if you remember previous years, it was always their defense, and they lacked offense. They had gotten rid of their offensive coordinator. Now they had Joe Brady. But Joe Brady has really flipped it for the Bills, and it's reversed. Their offense is ranked number 2 behind the Cowboys, and their overall offense is, they have offensive yard average of 383 yards per game. So, that's saying a lot, and that's why, and like you said, because you got to rely on the Superman powers of Josh Allen. They have offensive power, and basically now in the NFL, to be honest with you, it's not really about the defense; it's about the offense. It's who can score the most points. It's basically what's winning games for people, and that's what it is now. This is an offensive league now. So the Bills definitely have proven that they are a great offensive team. And right now, to be honest with you, of all the three teams, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chiefs, the Bills have a better chance of making it to the playoffs because right now they are ranked number 6. And to be honest with you, they really have to really falter in their next one. I think they got 3 or 4 games remaining. They really have to fall apart, even though I don't think they're going to beat the Patriots, but it still is not going to hurt their chances of making it to the playoff because they will get one. They'll get the wild card first. But, Josh Allen has proven that he is not the MVP this year, but he's still playing like a MVP in order to get the team into the playoffs. He has basically put them on his back, and he is bringing them to the playoffs. Now, like you said, Spitface, when they get in the playoffs, it's a different situation. You can make some noise when you get in the playoffs. The key is getting to the playoffs. And, yes, they will get there, and they're going to get there because of their offense and not because of their defense. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Heidi Tann on Shout Out Part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
Well, on the second part of shout-out, we are featuring another track from Heidi Tann. DJ, let's hear Missing You.
If there is one thing that I do know,
that was Missing You by Heidi Tann. And Kevin Kev, what's the verdict?
I think I like that. It's a nice one to have convertible down and doing a little cruise.
Hey, had a drop top down. Okay. I don't. She has I kind of want to say like a mature voice, and not like an old voice, but there was Michael Jackson when he was like a kid. And then, and he was, singing and he sounded good, but it was a kid's voice. And it's like, she got that 30-ish, I don't want to make her old enough voice. And, whereas like she mellowed it out. So, I really, like her vocals. And, can't wait to hear more from it. So I'm shouting it out. And it looks like the First Lady is having a bit of a technical difficulty. So let's see what we can do while we see if we can get her adjusted, see if she's able to get adjusted here. But otherwise, we do know that the show will go on. And let's see. And, okay. No? Okay. All right. Now, again, I'm giving it a shout out. And this is the end of shout out for this week. You can check out Heidi Tann on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. And First Lady, over to you.
All right. Yes, it's time for the pigskin picks. Unfortunately, the production assistants, they did not get the picks out from previous picks out to me this week. They said they had to do some Christmas shopping, so I had to let them go do their early Christmas shopping, Face and Chevy Tez. So let's go on. All right, so we got the winners.
The problem. See, that's the issue when you be paying folks. They want breaks to go spend the money and stuff. Let me leave it. I'm leaving it alone.
It is what it is. All right, we got winners and losers, and these points are worth 1 million points. All right, the Browns versus the Bears. Ooh, Browns versus the Bears. Oh, my. Let me see. I'm going to go with the Bears. We'll get Dizzy Mac's picks later. Spitface, who do you have?
The Bears.
All right, Kevin Tez, who do you have?
Oh, I got to go with the Bears. Caleb's going to shine.
Okay. We got the Ravens versus the Bengals. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm going, I don't trust the Ravens. Bengals at home. I'm going with my man Joe Burrow, who might not be a Bengal next season.
All right, Kevin Tez, who do you have?
I got to find out why you think he's not going to be a Bengal next year. The Bengals are going to score 30 against the Ravens. They just can't keep up. Not in Cincinnati. So you got to give me the Bengals.
You got to go with the Bengals. All right. Well, no, I'm going to go with the Ravens because this is do or die. so I think we got to go with the Ravens. I mean, this is it. If they lose this, they're pretty much out of it anyway, but it is really do or die. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. All right. Chargers versus the Chiefs. Kevin, Tez, who do you have?
Now, here's why I think you should go with the team that's on the brink. Because I think Patrick knows that they lose this game, they're out. So I think they beat the Chargers. Chargers' offensive line is not healthy. I think they get it done. Karlaftis gets some sacks, and the Chiefs win.
All right, you're going with the Chiefs. Well, I never bet against Patrick Mahomes. Unfortunately, they've been disappointing me because I haven't won most of my picks this week. This particular season because of the Chiefs being so bad. But you're right. They have to win. This is a must-win. So I'm going with the Chiefs. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm riding with them Chiefs. And the main reason is that is the temperature going to be below 40? Because the Chargers, like them their Dolphins, they do not do well when it's chilly outside.
All right. And okay, so we got the Bills versus the Patriots. I already said it. I am going with the Patriots. Spitface, who do you have?
Patriots at home.
All right. Kevy Kez, who do you have?
It's going to be an upset. This is going to be an upset. Mark it down. Bills. They get it.
All right, you got the Bills.
Circle the wagons.
Hey.
Circle the wagons.
Circle the wagon, circle the wagon. All right, the Packers versus the Broncos. This is a great game, too. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm rolling with them ponies, the Broncos.
All right, Kevy, who do you have?
I think this is the game that puts doubt in Denver's minds of whether they can actually win it. The Packers go in there and they steal one. They get it done against the Broncos.
I agree with you on that one. I have the Packers winning this game. I think they're the best team, along with the LA team in the NFC. So definitely going with them. All right, Lions versus the Rams. Kevin, who do you have?
Well, you just said the Rams are the best team in the NFL, so how can I argue with you, First Lady? I got to go Rams.
That's right. Rams all the way. That's who I have. Spitface, who do you have?
I'm like Matt Stafford playing against the old team, but he ain't Phillip Rivers. He old, but he ain't that. Well, he old, but he ain't that old.
All right. And
I'm gonna roll with the Rams at all.
Okay. And speaking of Phillip Rivers, we got the Colts versus the Seahawks. Man, I'm going with the Seahawks. And I'm gonna pray for Phillip Rivers that he doesn't get permanently hit or hurt. All right, Spitface, who do you have?
Phillip Rivers is going to be throwing that ball all over the place, and next week he'll be retired again. I'm going with the Seahawks.
All right, Kevin, who you have?
Oh, you got to go with the Seahawks. I think if there's a team that's going to challenge the Rams, it's got to be the Seahawks.
All right. Yes, indeed. Okay, so we got the Sunday night game, and it's the Vikings versus those Cowboys. All right. Kevin Kez, who do you have?
Well, I'm calling you from Frostbite Falls, so I got to go with the Vikings.
Oh, you got the Vikings. Oh, okay. All right. I got the Cowboys on this one. All right. Spitface, who do you have?
Are the Cowboys just totally eliminated yet?
No, they're not mathematically out of it, so they're not eliminated.
Yeah. If this is a tough one because of J.J. McCarthy. And it's like big game. Well, I can't even say it's a big game. It's a Sunday night game. So it's a primetime game. And the Cowboys do well at prime time at home. I'm rolling with the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings got them.
I don't know about those Vikings. All right, the Monday Night Madness game. This is worth $3 million, and that Sunday night was worth 3 million points. All right, so Dolphins versus the Steelers. All right, Kevin Kez, who do you have?
Is Bob Greasy playing? Terry Bradshaw playing?
Hey.
I don't think so. They're not ready to come out of retirement.
Larry Zonka, maybe? So here's the deal. This is in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, it is. Probably about 5 degrees.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that it's going to be really cold. But the Steelers have not won 2 games back-to-back all season. Can I say a tie? Can it be a tie? I don't know what to do with this game. I really don't. I guess I tell you what. I'm gonna go with Tomlin Power. I'm gonna win one for Coach. Let's go with the Steelers.
All right. Well, we already know last week the Dolphins won in New York, but it wasn't super cold. It was like in the high 40s last week in New York City. It was a very nice, pleasant day. It's not going to be nice and pleasant in Pittsburgh. So I am definitely going with the Steelers on that one. And Spitface, who do you have?
Well, it's going to be interesting because T.J. Watt.
Yeah, he's out.
May not be. Yeah, he's out. And for some reason, their defense has kind of been on off, but being that they're the most expensive defense in the NFL, they've been kind of playing a little subpar. But I think them sub temperatures will doom the Dolphins. So I'm going with the home team.
All right. Well, also, the Dolphins' only offensive person, Devon Achane, he has rib problems, so he may not be able to play either. So anyway, all right, let's go to over, under, and push. These are worth 1 million points. Shedeur Sanders, 2 passing touchdowns. All right, I'm going to say, woo. You know what? Who they playing? The Browns are playing. They playing what?
The Bears.
The Bears. The Bears' defense is not that great. The defense is all right. I'm going to say push. Spitface, what do you have?
I'm going under.
All right, Kevin Chess, are you saying Shedeur Sanders, 2 passing touchdowns?
No, I'm going under. Bears' defensive secondary is pretty good. They're not going to give it up. He's going to throw a pick.
All right. All right, C.J. Stroud, 2 passing touchdowns. Spitface.
I'm actually going to say I'm going to go with a push.
Okay, you're going with the push. I don't see we have who they're playing, but you're going with the push.
The Chiefs.
Oh, the Chiefs.
Oh, no, they're not playing.
They're not playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Kevin Chaz, who do you have? You got C.J. Stroud, 2 touchdowns.
He's due. He played pretty well against the Chiefs. I like what he did in the second half when Andy Reid lost his mind and went for it on 4th down on the 32-yard line. So I'm going to say CJ is going to benefit from that. He's going to keep it rolling. He's going to get us 2 touchdowns.
Okay, he's going to go with 2 touchdowns. Okay. Moving along, I think they're playing the Cardinals. So, he'll definitely get 2 touchdowns. Yeah. So, you're going to say push? I'm sorry, you said push?
Oh, no, he's going to get 2 touchdowns.
So, okay, so it's under, over, or push? So if he's going to get 2 touchdowns, you're saying he's going to get more than 2 or just 2?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's going to get more than 2 against the Cardinals.
Okay, so you're going over. Yeah, I'm going to go over. Because they're playing the Cardinals, so that's a wide open game. All right, Bo Nix, 3 passing touchdowns. I'm going to say push. Spitface.
I'm going to say under.
I'm sorry, who are they playing?
Bo Nix. Who they playing?
Yeah, who are they playing?
Let's see. That's Denver. Let's see who Denver is playing.
Packers.
Oh, no.
Denver Packers.
He's going under 3. Mike is going to be in his grill. No. No, he's not getting 3. He's not getting 3.
Under, and he's under. The Bo Nix has been balling. All right.
You put Micah down for 2 sacks. Put him down for 2 sacks. Right?
Now, Bo Nix knows how to move out that pocket now. All right. Caleb Williams, 2 passing touchdowns. I am going to say push. Spitface.
I'm going over.
All right. Heavy Kev.
I like the over, too.
All right. Josh Allen, 1 rushing touchdown. Spitface.
I'm going over.
Oh, you think you're going to have more than 1? Okay. Kevin Ted?
Yeah, this is really a tough one because you know they're not going to give up easy touchdowns. They're going to make them grind it out.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got. I think 2, and I think that becomes the winning score. His last touchdown is a run score for the game winner.
All right. Okay, so you both have over. I have push. I think he'll have 1. Joe Burrow, 3 passing touchdowns. Spit face.
I'm going with a push.
They're playing the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that defense is up. All right, Kevin Tez, what you got?
Burrow's 3 touchdowns? Oh, yeah, he's got that. That sounds about right.
Push?
Yep.
All right. Well, he acted like he was on suicide watch there for a minute.
That's Sharon Moore.
I know, but Joe Burrow, you didn't see his interview? I mean,
no, I saw it.
I'm going to say under. All right. We shall see how we are doing after next week, and I'm telling you, the production assistants will definitely have the results. All right. Big Face, what is your top story to watch this week?
Old Man Rivers, will he actually play for the Colts, and what will be the result? The armchair quarterbacks around the world want to know.
All right, Chevy Tez, what is your top story to watch this week?
I think whether Josh Allen takes the mantle away from Derek May. I mean, there's been so much hype, right? That Derek May is the new Tom Brady. Vrabel is there. Josh Allen is there. Hey, they're ready to become the next version of the superstar Patriots. I think Josh Allen is going to upset the apple cart.
All right. Well, my top story to watch is, will the Chiefs be eliminated this week if they do not win? And I just wanted to say something about that Old Man Rivers. You know what? I had to look to see what quarterbacks were out there that they could have signed. And I saw these names. These are the Taylor Hinkey, Nate Sudfeld, Clayton Tune, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Bryce Perkins. And then we wonder why they went to Old Man Rivers.
I think they could have got Teddy Bridgewater. I saw him in a commercial. They could have got him.
I thought Teddy Bridgewater is with the team already.
Yeah, Teddy already tried.
Yeah, he was with the team already this year. Yeah. I thought they could have gotten Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is retired, but my goodness, I would have taken Ryan Tannehill over Old Man Rivers.
How about Fitzpatrick?
But anyway. Well, yeah. They were, 5 years removed from playing, but anyway, we shall see. Like I said, I'm going to put an extra prayer up for Phillip Rivers. Okay. Check out our current and previous episodes at BrasPantiesAndSports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, and our special guest, Kevin Tez and Spitface. Kevin, you want to tell people where they can reach you or follow you?
They can just follow me by coming to Frostbite Falls. First Lady, I just want to appreciate you making space for me to be on your show.
All right. We appreciate having you on our show this morning. All right. You've been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you soon.